World War II is often remembered through the lens of massive armies, strategic battles, and the decisions of world leaders. Maps are drawn, dates are memorized, and statistics dominate our understanding of this global conflict. Yet beneath these grand narratives lies a quieter, more personal history, one that is shaped not by generals or governments, but by ordinary individuals who faced extraordinary circumstances. It is the story of human courage, quick thinking, and resilience in the face of overwhelming danger. Across occupied Europe, life was harsh. Countries that had once known peace found themselves under strict military control. Streets were patrolled constantly, curfews were imposed, and acts of defiance were met with severe punishment. Communication was monitored, and even minor infractions could result in imprisonment or death. Fear was pervasive, becoming part of the daily rhythm of life, influencing the decisions and behaviors of millions of people. Yet despite the omnipresent threat, resistance was everywhere. In towns, villages, and cities, individuals quietly defied their occupiers, often at great personal risk. Resistance movements were not formal armies. They were composed of ordinary people, farmers, students, workers, and former soldiers. United by a shared desire to protect their communities and undermine the occupying forces, they operated in secret. They gathered intelligence, sabotaged transportation networks, distributed underground newspapers, and provided assistance to Allied soldiers. Each act, no matter how small, was a challenge to the notion that occupation could completely control the lives of the local population. The dangers these individuals faced were immense. If captured, the consequences were severe. Interrogation, imprisonment, and execution were common outcomes. The threat of betrayal or careless mistakes by fellow resistance members added another layer of complexity. Yet despite these risks, thousands chose to resist. Their courage was not about heroism for recognition or glory, but a profound sense of duty and survival. Within this context, individual acts of resistance sometimes took extraordinary forms. Historical records describe moments in which captured fighters turned the tables on their captors through quick thinking and decisive action. These moments, though rare, demonstrate the power of individual agency even in the most desperate situations. While not every such story ended in survival, those that did reveal how psychological factors can influence outcomes as much as physical force. In these critical moments, the human mind becomes both a weapon and a shield. Fear, normally paralyzing, can heighten awareness and sharpen reflexes. Overconfidence, often present among occupying forces, creates opportunities for the underdog. Surprise disrupts routines and overwhelms trained soldiers. And confidence, even in extreme danger, can be the difference between life and death. The decisions made in these fleeting seconds often had a profound impact, not just on the individuals involved, but on the broader resistance movement. Training and preparation were crucial. Resistance fighters learned to observe their surroundings carefully, to wait for the slightest mistake, and to act with precision and speed. These skills could transform moments of capture into opportunities for escape or counteraction. While the odds were almost always against them, the ability to remain calm, think clearly, and respond instantly allowed some individuals to accomplish what seemed impossible. Their actions disrupted enemy plans, instilled fear, and in some cases inspired others to resist. Though the effects of individual resistance were limited on the scale of the entire war, their symbolic and practical impact was significant. Every successful act of defiance undermined the control of occupying forces. Civilians witnessed these acts and drew hope from them, often joining or supporting resistance movements themselves. Small victories in towns and villages contributed to a larger tapestry of defiance that, over time, weakened the enemy's grip and bolstered the morale of entire populations. It is essential, however, to approach these stories with historical perspective. Many attempts at resistance ended tragically. Countless individuals lost their lives, and the majority of captives were executed or sent to labor camps. These stories are not meant to glorify violence or war. Instead, they offer insight into human behavior under extreme pressure. They reveal the interplay between fear, courage, instinct, and moral choice. They show how ordinary people navigate extraordinary circumstances, often relying on intuition and split-second decisions to survive. The psychological dimension of resistance is particularly important. War is not fought solely with weapons, it is fought with minds. Surprise, hesitation, confusion, and decisiveness can determine the outcome of a confrontation as much as rifles and artillery. The individual who remains calm and acts quickly can turn the balance in their favor, even when outnumbered or outgunned. Conversely, the overconfident or inattentive can fall victim to those they believe to be powerless. These dynamics played out countless times during World War II, often in moments that were never recorded in history books. Individual resistance also had long-term effects. Though a single act might not change the outcome of a battle or the course of the war, it could inspire others, provide crucial intelligence, or disrupt enemy operations. Over time, these collective acts contributed to larger military successes. They weakened supply lines, slowed enemy movement, and created uncertainty within the ranks of the occupiers. Perhaps most importantly, they reinforced the idea that occupation did not equate to total control, and that human courage could survive even under oppressive circumstances. Stories of individual resistance remind us that history is not only written by the powerful. It is also written by those who refuse to accept defeat, who act decisively in moments of fear, and who, through courage and intelligence, can alter events in ways that ripple far beyond the immediate situation. These moments, while small in isolation, collectively reveal the resilience of human beings and the enduring strength of the human spirit. In reflecting on World War II, it is important to consider both the large-scale military and political narratives and these smaller, deeply human stories. They show us that courage is not always visible in grand gestures or public triumphs. Sometimes it exists in quiet, decisive actions taken in the shadows of occupied towns, in seconds that determine survival, and in moments that are remembered by those who witnessed them. Ultimately, the legacy of individual resistance during World War II is profound. It teaches that ordinary people can make extraordinary choices, that human courage can exist even in the darkest circumstances, and that history is shaped not only by armies and leaders, but by the countless decisions of individuals. These stories, preserved through memory, records, and research, continue to inspire and remind us of the resilience, intelligence, and determination of the human spirit. World War II was defined by battles and strategy, but it was also defined by these human moments when fear, courage, and quick thinking collided to produce outcomes that were impossible to predict. They remind us that in the midst of chaos, ordinary individuals can change the course of events, and that even in the darkest times, hope, bravery, and intelligence persist.